Well, in games like today, where do you look to? Do you look to more experienced players, or do you look to maybe someone that's got a little bit of magic in the boots?
Well, I think first and foremost, when you're playing a team like Spurs, and again from a Chelsea perspective, they are our biggest rivals. So what I want to see is some sort of drive and endeavour from everybody. I want to see that enthusiasm, that willingness to win matches. We also want to see us play great football. That comes at a cost sometimes, but you know, the nice football, because I think at this level, learning the game is more important than actually winning every single game on the trot. You're never going to do that, but I think learning the game and improving on past performances, if we can get some improvement, I think that's all we're looking for, and I'm sure Ed Brown's looking for that. That's the position we want to get off to a good start as well. Be confident, you know, be positive and use the ball well, and see if we can play forward-thinking football.
Absolutely right, and especially because realistically, a lot of these boys being given an opportunity to play the next couple of weeks when there's not a huge amount of competitive football elsewhere for Chelsea Football Club. Even the development squad haven't got a game for a good few weeks now, so any opportunity to impress, one or two faces and one or two eyes perhaps that don't usually have their attention, maybe during this break is an opportunity for them to show they're ready.
Well, I think at this level of football, I think we are learning how to impress on every occasion. I don't think there's a moment these days when these youngsters can switch off, can go to a position where mentally they're not right. I think get themselves right before kick-off, think about what they're going to do, be positive and be confident. And they're big words, but it's hard to do on a regular basis at this level. And I think that's what makes you progress to the next stage further forward, which is where they all want to go.
A couple of players to keep an eye on for Spurs this morning. Will Lancashire, who's a real talented centre forward that signed from Sheffield United fairly recently. Jamie Donnelly, who we saw briefly come on as a substitute in the PL2 game against Chelsea about a month ago. And also is another one in Mikey Moore, who's definitely a goal getter, in fact scored twice in their recent 5-1 win against Charlton in the PL Cup. It does mean a lot whenever you're playing Chelsea versus Spurs, Clive. You've played in this game at Chelsea youth level and obviously as a senior player as well. Does it mean more, or is it something as fans that we get a little bit too excited about?
Well, I think what you do at this level is you learn that it's massively important for the fans. That's what you actually learn. On the day, today is just another game against another top Premier League team at this level. But you learn that when you get further up the table, when you get on the edge of the first team, how important it is for the fans. They're the ones who have the history, which is where we want to come from. So you can understand that, you know, this is a learning curve, as is everything about this age group. So if you can get that into your head, that, and I'm sure they're being told, I'm sure the senior players have told them in the past, and I'm sure you learn it from the coaches and the staff that, hey, this is a big one, this is Tottenham, we don't lose to Tottenham, you know, that sort of chatter, and eventually when you say it often enough, you learn. So yeah, that's why I'm expecting this to be high tempo, a big level of endeavour and drive, and that determination to actually go on and win the game.
In all disciplines, it's definitely one, isn't it? Definitely Chelsea Tottenham is one. And also, I wonder your take on this, because there's quite a few Cobham products and Chelsea Academy players that will be representing their nations at the World Cup. Is that something you look at and you aspire towards, because it's been, you know, well versed that there is now a line that you can tread and follow through? Is that something you look at? Well,
it's been a lovely thing to watch for the last 20 years, to be honest, of the way the academy has developed as a whole. The buildings, the whole aspect of what's there is brilliant, you know, and it's improved immensely in the last 20 years, as have the players. You know, someone asked me a question the other day when the game we played the other day, and I can't remember which one. It's several games we've had where we've had academy players, several of them playing. I think we had up to about 7 the other day, you know, and I looked back and someone said to me, said, well, would you have had that many in your day? I said, well, we had probably 11 that I could name. So they still got a way to go. However, the world is a different world and football is different, of course. So yes, it's great. It's great to see this opportunity for these youngsters now to see an avenue further forward, a line through to the first team, which you feel at this stage, that's where every single one of them wants to go. Obviously times change as you go along, but they learn now, and before now actually, that you have to play well in every single game. Sometimes your game's off, and that's understandable, that happens, but You know, put the work rate in. I think that's where we want the first team as well. We talk about put the work rate in, we'll be good enough because we've got good players.
Absolutely right. We hope that's certainly something we see this morning as Tottenham get us underway. Chelsea and Spurs do seem to come together quite a lot, and of course we will see that in the women's game tomorrow afternoon here at Stamford Bridge as well, as Chelsea take on Spurs in the WSL. But for now, we are focused on this under-18s Premier League encounter, and it's an early sign of Tudor Mendel-Ado. We know how good he can be on the ball. Straight back to the midfield pivot, we believe, could potentially now be Michael Golding and Keanu Dyer, a little bit more focused on holding that shape for Chelsea, as Frankie Runham looking to get on the ball early, and Boniface looking for the overlap as well. Frankie Runham is an interesting character as well. Already made his UEFA Youth League debut for Chelsea's. Only just recently turned 16, I believe, and I mean, what a start that will be to continue his good form against Tottenham this afternoon. Dorrington very quickly stepping across and making sure that not a lot happens for Spurs, but the opening minute has been a good start for Chelsea.
It's always good when you play in the opponent's half, isn't it? And I think that's where you want to be. I think what's inevitable in this game is the players who really squeeze in and not allow you to play. I think either team, given time to play and will pass, and they'll pass you off the pitch. So the work rate is obviously going to be there in these early stages, and we've got to close down, and looks like we're trying to play a bit of a press, and if we can, we'll get some support in behind and win the ball high up the pitch.
Looking to step out from the back early on and get their own foothold into the game, as like you've already mentioned there, Clive, that high press is very prevalent already, and Lewis Flower doing the hard yards early to set his team up, and something we saw obviously in the PL2 game and you see from the first team, and I suppose that is now more of a recognisable culture you see throughout football clubs, where 18s and 21s and all across the systems, they all play a similar way.
Yeah, it's funny how that happens, and that, you know, that the game has changed in that respect, that everybody is playing the same way. You know, looking back over years gone by, that was never the case. But it's interesting to see it in this way, because it's forcing players to be good on the ball, to have two good feet, to be able to pass. Players could always pass, players could always score goals, but they weren't always so well balanced as they are these days.
Great chance early, but really well defended by Mendel-Ado as Tottenham try and build something. You're absolutely right, and it does feel very much now that you set the culture from the ground upwards, and you know, with the amount of players that we've seen progress to play in the first team, I suppose if you are comfortable playing the same way and throughout the age, which we see it for the national teams as well, if you have a similar way of playing, it's only going to suit the first team manager eventually at some point.
Absolutely, as long as it stays the same. You know, we're always thinking that somebody's got to come up with some other ideas to change it, and sometimes when you do that, you catch people on the hop a little bit, you make it different. I mean, I suppose the greatest example is Pep Guardiola, who's come in, and the way he managed Man City, and still does, of course, to the level that they play at, and it doesn't matter what players they have, they rotate the players year in, year out, but the style has been different, and it's changed football in many ways. So it's good to see that happening, but one day is somebody going to say, well, you know what, I've seen something that's a little bit different, can we turn it around, which will change again the style of football and how it is. But until that day happens, you know, these lads are going to play the same way.
Absolutely right, and you can see already Tottenham looking to do similarly and play the same way and build up from the back, and neat little interplay here, looking for an early touch of Jamie Donnelly, who again we know can certainly cause Chelsea problems this morning into the early afternoon. Here is the Tottenham number 10, a lot of pressure wearing the Tottenham number 10 shirt for Jamie Donnelly today, but certainly someone that's very comfortable in scoring goals, 16 and 18 under-18 Premier League games last season. And there is an early challenge from Michael Golding on Will Lancashire, is going to concede the free kick.
I think what we've got to be important for us is to keep a good shape, and I think when you give away free kicks high up the pitch like this, it's important to be first to the ball. Good to see a Chelsea blue shirt on this.
There's an early free kick, and it's a deep one towards the far post, hung up really high, but referee's seen something, whether it's the linesman flag or something, but Chelsea will be able to relax back into it and get play going again with Ted Kerr in the Chelsea goal.
I think that was interesting. The delivery from that free kick was awful. really was awful, and it helps you as a defender to deal with it. You know, it was too far from goal and it's too high for if someone headed it, it was almost impossible to score, to get the pace in the ball to beat the goalkeeper from that sort of distance. And I just don't understand. I'm sure as the first team, every first team, they practice things on the training ground, and to make a complete mess on your first opportunity, because this could be a tussle that is about dead ball situations. So, you know, you want to get them right, but to get it that far wrong was ridiculous. It just helped us out.
We'll take it, certainly will.
Sure.
Battle going on there between Boniface and Williams, and it'll be a throw-in for George Abbott to trot over and take now for Spurs.
It's wasted about a minute trying to find another ball.
Multi-ball not quite in.
You would think there would be other balls around the pitch, wouldn't you, to help the lads out? Because the lads want to keep the tempo going, and it's important for them to do that. Sometimes teams just switch off slightly when this situation happens. Anyway, off we go again.
Do indeed, as Lancashire and tussle between Spurs number 9. He gives away a free kick. He's not too sure about it, but Harrison Murray Campbell certainly will be pleased with that.
I think we take the free kick, Joe, to be honest. It's a bit of a soft one, but gets us out of trouble.
Absolutely right. Alfie Dorrington taking no chances there for Spurs. He loops it towards Travis Akamia, who can head that away nicely.
Yeah, no real pattern to the game, is there, from either side? Both sides have had a little bit in the opponent's half so far, but nothing really to suggest that either team is going to dominate. But there's just no real pattern, because it's lively and it's open and it's very, very quick, and everybody's doing what we thought they were doing, close down and force errors, and that's what's happening.
Spurs again looking for Lancashire to try and get him on the ball early, but high press from Chelsea's number 6 in Keanu Dyer there. Get a patient approach. First 7 minutes has kind of raced away without a real sight in a goal for either, but Judah Mendeladou trying to do something there as he flicks the ball up in the air. He's beaten to it in the end though. Nice flick around the corner. Here's Mikey Moore. Breaking forward now for Spurs is Kea Martin. He steps away from 2 or 3. It's a lovely threaded pass now. Here's Williams. Back to Donnelly. Chelsea bodies around him. Boniface does well. Frankie Runham just tracking the run there of George Abbott. Really well defended from Boniface. Harries him all the way back.
Good defending from everybody, to be honest. And again, there's a nice line there. Everybody's pushed up. When the ball comes back to the ball that's going to be delivered, everybody pushed up 3 or 4 steps. Just gives the goalkeeper a little bit more space to come and collect. And again, good defending collectively there.
Spurs forcing Chelsea to have to think twice, trying to play out from the back, and Murray Campbell can loop the ball towards Flower, but stepped in from Dorrington. Early start from Ed Brand's side. He's got an agitated character sometimes on the touchline, but it's fairly composed so far.
Nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all. Kicks every ball, doesn't he, Ed Brand? Achiampong looking to play the ball through, and 1 or 2 Chelsea arms in the air looking for a foul, but referee's not interested. Here's Dorrington, a player that's got 1 or 2 eyes on him, has been involved in the older areas for Spurs already. Very composed centre-half, and here he is on the ball again. Not composed in that aspect though, as Harrison McMahon forced him to concede a throw-in. It's a lovely quick throw-in by Runham to Lewis Flower.
We just need him to hold it up if we can. Lewis, just you're going to run that lone channel and run into areas where you can get the ball first. You just want to be able to keep it. Always difficult. A couple of players around him on this occasion.
Dyer not too deterred there by the leg that was left in by Olasesi. Quickly back up on his feet, and Chelsea continuing. It's lovely feet from Mendeladou. Speak about that moment of magic. This is very much a man that can produce that, and we've seen that already this season. Brilliant play there from Michael Golden as well to force a throw in.
Yeah, it just leaves them with a concern, doesn't it? Because the ball's between goalkeeper and defender, and he just had to deal with it. Good pressure by Chelsea.
Boniface had to run him. He's had an impressive start to the season as he looks for a deep cross towards Mendelodowu.
It's a good ball, isn't it? It really was a good ball. Goalkeeper was unsure again. Looking dangerous when we counter-attack in that respect, but just need to help find that extra pass maybe.
Mikey Moore hassled out of it there by Keanu Dyer. Does a lot of the perceived dirty work, just trotting in and around and breaking play up, but so important to the way that every Chelsea side plays. You know, got one of the best in the world in N'Golo Kanté that does it at the first team. So I guess if you're watching videos, Clive, that's not a bad person to learn from.
Certainly isn't. If you can get anywhere close to that sort of play, then you are something special. One of the best in the world at the position he plays in.
Spurs again composed on the ball at the back. Perhaps not quite the intense nature we've seen of London derbies in the past, but I'm sure at some point we'll certainly get a flavour of that.
Yeah, we've gone past that opening 10, 11 minutes, haven't we? And the pressure we put on initially has just died off a little bit. I think sometimes you assess the quality of the players you're playing against. That's a foul.
A bursting run there from Josh Achiampong.
Yeah, showing good skills there, hasn't he? Bursting between defenders, or midfield players as it was on this occasion, and still aware of players around him that he can pass to. Just gets brought down. Correct decision.
Quite a few of these players were involved, in fact, in Chelsea's last UEFA Youth League game. They won 4-0 against Dinamo Zagreb, so quite a few having that opportunity on that day to maybe right a few wrongs of the earlier part of the season. But it's an early free kick to be taken this morning. It's a free header for Akamir, who's another one of those involved. I do wonder with that, because you mentioned at the top of the game about it being, you know, development, and it's all about learning experiences. It's a well-trodden question, but do you learn more from defeats and disappointments rather than everything going smoothly as you're growing up and in the younger age groups? Because Chelsea are so regularly winning everything that when it doesn't go right, it's a bit of a shock to the system sometimes.
Yeah, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure that that's the case. There's a foul here as well. Could be a problem for Lewis Flower here, but just a bit of a late challenge. I'm not so sure that referee's going to have a word with him. Let's hope this isn't a yellow card, maybe just a stern word. That it really does affect you when you lose games, that you learn so much. I think you can learn something from every single game you're playing. I think you can learn a lot from the good things that you do, because you want to do them time and time again. So it's a bit of a strange question sometimes. I'm just going to go back to that free kick as well. Again, we talked about the free kick for Spurs earlier. Just floated in. There's no way you can score a header from there. It's either got to be whipped in with more pace or stood right up to the far post to be able to knock the ball back across. But yeah, the game is about learning, and if you can learn anything from any game you play in, then that's a positive. So if every one of these 22 players out here learn one thing from today, good, bad, indifferent, they've learned something, and that's where you want to be. So the more games they play, the better it is.
I do hope the lesson they learn is how to beat Spurs in 90 minutes.
Of course, 100%.
That's a lovely little flick around the corner there from Lancashire. But
well, it's a lovely flick to no one. You know, the only thing is, it would look good if he had a runner. I think you can learn from that. He's knocked it in blind. Have a look first, see where the players are around you. If you're inside the penalty area, definitely do it blind, because that's important, because you get a strike away. But all they've done is lose possession and give us the ball back.
And there is one of the millions of reasons, Clive, why you played at such a high level, and I'm sat beside you talking about it. But here's a chance for Mendelodowu. One or two question marks maybe about a penalty there, but ignored.
I tell you what, it's a great flick on, and it's a lovely ball to run onto it, and he does really well. Two players coming in on him. I think they made contact on the ball. I'll have to give them the benefit of the doubt there. On another day, you make a mistake, it's a penalty.
That pace that we see from Mendelodowu, that intellectual running in beyond. Hopefully one of many sightings we see of that this morning. Here is Donnelly for Spurs, though. Really well done. Here's Mikey Moore. Struck a hand there. Oh, Keanu Dyer was absolutely certain there, but Spurs have played on.
Played to the whistle. That's something he can learn. I mean, I don't think that's handball. I think as he tried to clear his hands in a natural position, just because it strikes the arm, it doesn't mean it's handball. Got to play on in those areas.
You can hear Ed Brand on the touchline and a member of his coaching staff ensuring that players are switched on and know their roles for this morning. Here's a free kick in a comfortable area for Chelsea, though.
Again, poor, clumsy challenge. Forwards challenge, if you like. Just gives us possession back. And that's good in some respect because you have the enthusiasm to go in and try and win it, but you've got to be more careful of not giving anything away.
Opening 15 minutes have been fairly cagey between the two. No real keen sight into goal, but here's Jamie Donnelly looking to change that for Tottenham. Good football, looking for more. Flick round the corner, Donnelly could be in here with a chance. It's a good save in the end by Kerr. The ball's up in the air. Defended well by Boniface in the end. Up rather than out for McMahon, but Runham can clear Chelsea's lines only as far as Dorrington, though. Spurs starting to build into this game a little bit more, Clive.
Yeah, they are. They're just pressing forward. There's a physicality about Spurs, which is probably a little bit daunting for us in some respect. One or two players, you know, good on the ball and really not being knocked off it very easily. Donnelly, for instance, obviously looks good and tough and secures the ball very, very well. And he's just getting runners off of him. So when he receives the ball and he's facing our goal, certainly is a danger.
He's a player that's already caught the eye of one or two. He's had a difficult start to the season, though. He picked up an injury and kind of feeling his way back into it, but certainly a big player for Tottenham at this level of football, certainly. And even in the PL2, he said he came on against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago at Kings Meadow. And you can see immediately, I think he hit the post or just struck the side netting about 90 seconds after coming on, so he's certainly someone that Chelsea need to keep an eye on.
I think he's shown it already, that right area, right space, you know, he could cause damage for us, so just got to be aware.
Something to think about for Akamir and Murray Campbell, who are exchanging passes at centre-half there. There's Lewis Flower dropping deep to pick the ball up and knit things together for Chelsea. Havertz steps in there and intercepts Michael Golding's pass. Marn wins it back though. Frank Kirby with space to run into. Flower for support and Boniface busting a gut to get on the outside of him if he can find him.
It's not a bad idea, that. Not a bad little run as well. Nice to see someone trying to put that little reverse pass in. Could have worked, just overhit slightly.
Spurs looking to counter immediately. It's a poor pass into Murray Campbell, who can mop that up. And again, similar position we saw 30 seconds ago as Runham and Golding exchanging passes. And free kick on Lewis Flower there. It's a bit of a coming together there. I think he kind of fell in, didn't he, to George Abbott in the end.
To be fair, I think he's had a bit of a large nudge from Dorrington. He just collided with another Spurs player, so just taking a little whack on his nose probably, which can be a bit sore, but hopefully he'll be okay.
Yeah, I think you can see it here, like you said, he's
all over him, isn't he? See, for me, the referee blows too late. There's a foul, obviously, he's got arms all over him. If he blows the whistle a bit earlier, that collision might not have happened, but again, I like to see referees keep the game flowing, and I understand why, but certainly a foul.
Comfortable one for Lewis Flower. Thankfully he's all right and he can continue with this one. He's still feeling the effects of it, but Chelsea are back underway. Murray Campbell and Kerr just exchanging passes, and they're forced to go a little bit longer, but can only find the chest of Alfie Dorrington.
I don't mind that. I don't mind Teddy Kerr doing that if he wants to, you know, if he feels under pressure. He's obviously got two good feet and can deliver the ball as and when. Nice to see us playing as often as we possibly can. But of course, if there's danger, clear your lines.
Chelsea very blessed in the goalkeeping department actually at a youth level. Obviously, Teddy Kerr started today. He started the PL Cup game against Derby a week ago as well. But Luke Campbell, who's on the bench, started Chelsea's last under-18s game. It's a chance for Spurs, which we'll come back to. As Mikey Moore driving into the box now. It's a good strike on goal. It's a good save from Ted Kerr as well.
Yeah, we give the ball away cheaply initially, but I think what we did after that was force it into a wider position, which is the right thing to do. He's had to shoot on the angle, tight angle. You'd expect your goalkeeper to make the save from there.
Very high press again from Chelsea, forced it all the way back to Spurs goalkeeper of Luka Gunter. "20 minutes played at Tottenham Hotspur's fantastic training facility.
Yeah, as I was saying, we gave this ball away a little bit cheaply, just trying to get back. Good defending, just the way we pushed him into that wide position. See 3 Spurs players coming in, that would be the danger.
Could be a chance now as a looping cross in towards Lancashire, and dealt with well by first Murray Campbell and then Akamia, and shields the ball as Josh Achiampong is forced to hook it out, but he wins a throw-in for Chelsea.
It's good defending again. Murray Campbell just getting behind his partner at the back there, Travis Akamia, and just manages to clear first time. You know, that's what you want your partner to do. That's how you work. One misses it, the other gets it.
Forming quite a partnership, these two, actually playing centre-half alongside each other. Usually it's a mix of Akamia or Caden Wilson alongside Murray Campbell, who's been pretty much never present at the back for Chelsea in the 18s Premier League so far, but both looking very composed so far, and good start from Chelsea's perspective. 20 minutes gone, 21.5 minutes gone now, and still goalless, still no real key chances as Mikey Moore tries to take one on from range. It's a comfortable save again for the goalkeeper.
Yeah, expecting him to make that save, doesn't actually strike it that well, does he, in the end? And his delivery out was good as well, but we've given it away again.
Really good feet initially there from Frankie Runham to work an angle, but pass is unable to find a Chelsea body. Very high press from Chelsea.
Yeah, you just see an opportunity sometimes, don't you? And you have to then go in. And it's important everybody goes as well. There we go, win the ball high up. Unfortunately, can't keep it.
One or two Chelsea players unhappy with a throw that's given there.
Do you know what's lovely as well is that they're expecting a foul and they're calling the lino. We're all told it's assistant referees now. You can't get that out quickly enough. It's interesting, it's still a lino after all these years.
There's a chance now for Michael Goldin. Driving into the box on this left-hand side, he cuts in, kind of prods it towards Mendelodowu.
It's not bad. He's in no man's land in many ways.
Lancashire's wriggled away from Murray Campbell, who's left in a bit of a heat, but he's back into position as Mikey Moore's got it one-on-one with Achiampong. Does really well, the Chelsea defender does really well at 2 attempts as well.
I tell you what was strange as well, when they win the ball there, Spurs, they go square. You know, centre-half's out of position. Go forward. There was space to go forward, but he had to go square, which gave us a chance to get back into position. Did us a favour.
Absolutely. Akamia around the captain's armband this morning into Mendelodowu.
It's a good ball.
Running with Boniface again, looking to overlap him. Uses the fullback. Deep cross towards Lewis Flower. Just can't quite get over it. It's a good chance for Chelsea.
So unlucky. That's a really, really good counter-attack. The initial first ball was superb. It's all cut through their midfield area, and then we get the overlapping runs as well. It's lovely to watch. This is superb play. And again, he picks it up, tries to get it into a good area at the far post. Unfortunately for Lewis, he just can't quite get above the ball and head it towards the goal, but super attack.
Wonderful build-up play from Chelsea, and instinctive little nudge to the left from Frankie Runham as well for the overlap of Boniface. And like you said, Lewis Flower did almost everything right, didn't he? If he was a couple of inches more above it, yeah, I think Chelsea will be taking the lead. Yeah,
I just think it was a great attack, and unfortunately the one thing it needed was a finish, and it didn't quite get it, but you know, everything about it was good to watch.
With the best sight in a goal so far for either team, which is promising from a Chelsea perspective. It's a long raking pass there from Kayamata looking towards Mikey Moore, but Thankfully, Achiampong was equal to it.
Yeah, and again, Mike Moore would have thought, what sort of a ball is that to me? You know, you've got a big fullback in Achiampong, and he's not going to win the header, you know, and he must think, I'm getting started, well, I want better quality. But again, it suits us.
Here is Keanu Dyer.
It's interesting how the game goes in phases, though, isn't it? You know, we saw the opening start of the game very scruffy, high intensity, everybody closing down first 10 minutes. And then there was a period where maybe Spurs took control of the game and looked dangerous. Now we've had a couple of attacks that makes us on the front foot, if you like. And the game swings backwards and forwards. And obviously, we talk about the first goal. I think, again, this is where it could make a huge difference. If somebody can pick up a loose ball, and there's one.
Absolutely, just right on cue is Frankie Runham, who does indeed pick up on a loose ball. He uses Michael Golding, shifts one way, squares up with his left foot. It's a deep cross towards Mendeladou at the far post, and Lewis Flower's going to try and wriggle away and create something. As far as Dyer, to Runham again. Always a threat, Frankie Runham. Boniface with a deep cross towards Lewis Flower at the far post.
It's a good ball, you know. This has cleared all the defenders, and when you say hang it up, that's what we talk about. Hang it up to the far post. And that's what he's done. Again, when we talk about a ball delivery coming in with no pace, difficult to get pace out of the header. And I think as a centre forward, that's where you take a gamble, and you sort of just lay back and get your laces on it and smash it goalwards, and that's how you create the power and hopefully the accuracy, because we saw the header was soft and weak and it was easy for the goalkeeper.
2 sightings in the last few minutes on goal of Lewis Flower, a player of his quality. Spurs won't want to give him many more of those without feeling the effects of it, as Tottenham try and create something for themselves. Here is an opportunity for Olosesi. Deep cross in from Chaplin. It's a really good ball in as well, but header flick wide from Lancashire. Again, a similar opportunity to the one we saw 5 or 6 minutes ago, potentially from Lewis Flower.
It's a half a chance, isn't it? You have to say it's a good early ball in. You have to say defensively, we always say if you can't win the ball, put the player under pressure, and we just about do that. And you see the challenge coming in at the far post from Boniface, and he just manages to get enough pressure on the header so he can't actually steer it on goal.
And they're doing his job at one end and at the other end as well. Lovely clip ball over the top towards Lewis Flower to get Chelsea further up the pitch, and it's taken quickly by the striker.
Don't see it too often. It's one of my pet hates. We see a lot of them in the Premier League for sure, but we don't see very often the referees stopping the game for it. And I think it's right, again, at this level. You know, that's the rules, I'm afraid.
Absolutely right. In fact, I remember seeing one only a week ago, actually, the Chelsea-Arsenal game. There was a foul throw in to quite the bemusement of the full. I think it was Granit Xhaka who took it quickly, in fact. And the big complaint will come when a goal scored from that sort of assist, if you like. Then we're into VAR territory, and nobody wants that on a Saturday morning.
No.
Here's Keanu Dyer to Boniface. Lovely turn from Frankie Runham. Driving into the box now, an opportunity, squares it back to Michael Golding. What a finish. Brilliant, brilliant Chelsea goal. Wonderful build-up play from Frankie Runham. Lovely turn, runs into the box, he squares it back, and Michael Golding just cruises it into the far corner. What a finish.
Well, all about the turn for me, wasn't it? Frankie Runham really was good. This is a good ball in, good pace on the ball there. That's the turn. One touch, spins the other way. Fullback has no idea. Then he gets his head up, really keeps calm. And Michael Holding there, just with the lovely... Lots of space for him to hit, to be fair, but he does it perfectly. Great finish.
Fantastic finish. A player that's been in fine form. He's scored recently for England youth levels as well. He's absolutely feeling it at the moment. He started very well today and has given Chelsea a 1-0 lead at the Tottenham Hotspur training ground, which will never not sound nice. Fantastic football, brilliant finish.
And that's what we talk about. We spoke about it a couple of times, about the football. And I think we've looked more dangerous with the way we've passed the ball to get to those positions. Spurs have had areas of danger, but in wider positions. I think from our point of view, we've got in front of the goal more. But what we needed before was the finish. And when Frankie does that, I mean, that's terrific play. Great wing play. And to be able to get the finish as well is superb.
Absolutely right. His second goal of the under-18s campaign so far for Michael Golding. He's certainly a player with a huge amount of potential, and he's shown it just there how much he's on form already today, as Tottenham look to quickly get something back on the board, but Lancashire's having a disagreement with the referee about something.
Well, I think what the referee's done is he's acknowledged there was a free kick before that, tried to give Spurs the advantage and keep the game going. Just brings it back 10 yards, nothing in it.
Free kick opportunity for Kyle Martin to...
This is where they got the... Sorry, Joe, this is where they got the physicality.
It's a deep crossing. It's a deep crossing so far. You mentioned that physicality, and there's one or two bodies that have gone up for it. It was Jaden Williams very nearly did, but Alfie Dorrington's going to flick it back in. Well headed out by Akamir, and now Frankie Runham tries to skip past, but Kyle Martin equal to it on this occasion. Akamir does well again there.
It's good defending all round from Chelsea's perspective, to be honest. A couple of times the ball comes in there and we managed to deal with it. I always say try and get to the ball first if you can and get something on it, and then your players around you can help you out. And making this header, Akamir just maybe landed awkwardly.
Yeah, I didn't see too much. It looked a bit of an innocuous one. Challenge between him and Will Lancashire. I think we'll see a little bit more here. He steps across him a little bit.
I don't see much wrong with that, and unless in the stretch, he's holding his stomach, so maybe he's stretched the stomach muscle there in overstretching perhaps, but does the job well. Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, not too many defensive options on the bench for Chelsea. Here's the reason that we are 1-0 to the good this morning. Brilliant build-up initially, and Frankie Runham, bit of genius here. The finish as well. Really, really lovely finish. Yeah,
the good thing is once he gets past the fullback, is excellent play, because he gives himself time to get his head up and pick the pass. Could quite easily have smashed this across the 6-yard box and maybe someone would have got a tap in. But he's thought about it, which is nice. He's thought about what he's doing. He's thought about the positions that his players are in, and he's found it with ease. And you know, we go again. Michael Golding has sort of kept a calm head, you know, and I think anybody who scores goals will know that for that split second, you just slow your brain down, and that's what he's done. He's seen the spot he wants to hit, hits it perfectly. Super goal.
So he's a real talent is Michael Golding, signed from AFC Wimbledon a few years ago now, but keeps growing into it. He's captained England under 16s, played for Republic of Ireland under 16s, played for England under 17s. He's very, very highly thought of at Cobham, and that finish, that bit of composure, you can see why.
Well, he showed his class there, and that's what we need. We need to see that edge, that class, that when we get into those areas, we can get a finish.
Spurs get this back underway, and thankfully Chelsea are back to the full complement as Travis Akamir is able to shrug off that discomfort. So let's keep an eye on those. We approach 10 minutes until the half-time interval. A press from McMahon, but Kyle Martin can wriggle away from something there. Spurs are building now though. Here's Olasesi. He chops one way, chops the other, back to Lancashire. Bodies everywhere from Chelsea, defended it fantastically well as well. Teddy Kerr will be delighted to have his gloves on the ball now. Yeah,
Kyle Martin does really well, doesn't he, for Spurs here? And initially our defending wasn't good, but once the ball comes across the box here, does really well, Kyle Martin. It's a lovely little pullback, good reaction from players inside the 6-yard box to get in there and defend for us. And eventually Teddy Kerr gets a simple catch, but that could have been nasty for us. Defended well as a group.
I don't think I've given Harris and Murray Campbell nearly enough credit there. Two fantastic blocks. It just looked like a bit of panic at the moment as everyone was throwing something in the way, but it was Murray Campbell who got two vital touches to prevent the ball going in the Chelsea net.
And that's what it's about when you're 1-0 up as well sometimes. You know, you put your body on the line, you do everything you can to keep that lead and secure it. And that's what the boys have done there.
Absolutely. There'll be a Chelsea defensive legend in John Terry, who will no doubt be watching a video back of that Monday morning on the training pitch and be very, very pleased with centre-half's performance, because certainly from his line of work, that one there. Here is Keanu Dyer, who's hustled and harried and comes a throw-in.
Well, doesn't panic. That's the main thing. Tries to keep. Again, we talk about the physicality, and that's where you see it as well. Giving it away cheaply now, though.
Jamie Donnelly's going to leave this throw in for George Abbott. Ten minutes until the break. Chelsea 1 up. Donnelly straight into the body of Murray Campbell, who defends it well again and tries to get Frankie Runham on the counter. Chelsea winger can't keep it in play, though. Such a danger whenever he gets on the ball, though, Clive, isn't he? Only 15 years of age, Frankie Runham, already proving that he's very much acquitted and suited to this level of football. And seen him in the Youth League already. I don't think it'll be long before he's making his Premier League 2 debut as well. He's had a fantastic start to the season.
Well, it's the stars you look for, isn't it? The ones who are a bit special, have something about them. We've already talked about the defenders. It's not always about forwards and scoring goals and creating goals. Sometimes being able to put your body on the line, talk about defensively, can we do that? We've done that as well today. There's been some good action from the midfield players as well. So all in all, you know, it's been a good early performance against Spurs. You know, again, you've got to remember it is Spurs. You know, there's a lot in that for the fans, especially who are watching, but also it's something that goes on through your life. You just don't like Spurs.
It's a lovely strike on goal there from Mendel Ado, who just created half a yard from himself onto his stronger left foot, straight into the gloves of the goalkeeper in the end. But again, definitely something we want to see more of, because he's such a fantastic bright prospect, is Tudor Mendel Ado. So good on the ball. He feels, as a fan, he's the one that you get very excited about when he does get on the ball. Yeah,
he's excited, isn't he? And he's quick, and you can see that he's got an eye for goal as well. So certainly the type of player you want on the ball as often as possible.
Spurs coming back down the other end, though. Here is Mikey Moore, who's seen quite a lot of ball in the first half so far. He's defended well from Akamiya, and Kerr, double big save again from Teddy Kerr. It's second one especially, he just makes himself big on the floor, doesn't he? So it's a really good save from the goalkeeper.
Super save. The first one was good enough, but to lay on the floor and put your hand up and make the save is absolutely superb. And Spurs have let us off the hook again, which they seem to keep doing, which is a good thing. But yeah, Teddy Kerr, absolutely brilliant there.
You mentioned about 5 minutes ago about sometimes when you go 1 up, you have to face a little bit of an onslaught, and thankfully Teddy Kerr and his defence in front of him have stood up to the challenge very well in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, we spoke a few moments ago, didn't we, about the forwards, the midfield players, defenders. Didn't mention the goalkeeper, but he's had a good game as well so far. Hence the reason why the scoreline is what it is. You know, Spurs have got some talented players, some big players, some strong players, but we're standing up to the cause, and you know, getting that goal was so important for us.
Absolutely right. Another one, 16 years of age, so could be playing at this level for a number of years for Chelsea before needing to make the progress. But you can already see his ability and how important he is to this Chelsea side. There's a number of good goalkeepers actually that Chelsea have got coming through the academy at the moment, which is a very strong position to be in for the football club, and I suppose probably the toughest position to have competition in as well, Clive, because as a goalkeeper you just want to play every game. Yeah, of course. I think same with that. Players want to play every game, but there's less opportunities, isn't there, for goalkeepers to impress. And again, so he's certainly impressing today. Absolutely right. Here is Mikey Moore, who's been one of those testing Teddy Kerr so far. Martin looking in field for any movement, and it was Williams who was in the centre of the box they were trying to find, but from a Chelsea perspective they couldn't. A step over from Mendel Ado. A wayward pass though, and Donnelly can find something. Here's Lancashire. Back to Abbott. The players in the box, well defended by Murray Campbell again. Mendel Ado quickly getting Lewis Flower on the go. Lovely turn that. It's got away from him, the defender doesn't know what to do there. Chaplin, he's not sure, and it's a push from behind. It's a foul, and I think because he was chasing Lewis, he's always going to get a yellow card for it. You know, if ball comes into Lewis Flower's feet and he fouls him, then he might have got away with just a free kick. But because he's chasing, he just doesn't know what to do. Look at that, it's an awful shove, isn't it? Never going to get away. But fair to the referee, he's literally right on the spot. So good position, free kick. In swinger to be taken by Frankie Runham. Steps over, it's got options towards the far post. Achiampong's forward, as is Akamir and Harrison Murray-Campbell as well. Option potentially on the edge is Harrison McMahon, just lurking, waiting for any scraps. It's a in-swinger from Runham. Flick on header, and it's a really good save. I think it came off Lewis Flower in the end there. A number of Chelsea bodies that went up for it. Really good save from the goalkeeper in the end.
Fantastic ball in. I'm not sure he gets this quite cleanly enough, but what a ball. Look at the pace on the ball. Just have to try and steer it. I'm not sure if it came off a defender, actually, and a decent save by the goalkeeper.
Definitely in the mix, wasn't it? 1 or 2 opportunities now for Chelsea to build again, and Runham takes it short. Lewis Flower into Tudor Mendelado there. Can't quite get his shot off, but Spurs looking to counter quickly if they can.
I've seen different corners, free kicks. That's been worked on the training field that work. This one almost did, not quite.
Very nearly, very nearly. Lovely step across from Akamir is fantastic. Now he's going striding forward to join the attack. Uses goal scorer Michael Goldin. Ignores Boniface on this occasion, does Runham. Looks to quickly switch it in play quickly, but intercepted. Now there's a foot race on between Akamir and Lancashire. Referee's seen something here. He's offside, I think. He's offside.
He's gone to ground very, very easily, hasn't he, to be fair? And I suppose the assistant referee on this near side has just helped us out a little bit, or helped the referee out from making a decision, perhaps. But free kick nonetheless.
Won't lie, my heart rate did increase ever so slightly there for a second, Clive, but very grateful to see the flag from the assistant.
Yeah, you do worry when you're 1-0 to the good, and played pretty well first half. I think we've looked good at times. And you don't want to see it all disintegrate into maybe one slight error, or one slight error by anybody, might even be the referee, but to get someone possibly sent off in those situations would have been a sad way to finish the half. But thankfully, still on 11 players.
Absolutely, 3 minutes until the break. Chelsea still 1 up thanks to Michael Goldin's first half strike. Keanu Dyer again, giving any central midfielder even a millisecond to think about it. So another booking actually for the referee's going to brandish his second yellow card of the first half.
Yeah, there was a wild swing in there, wasn't there? I mean, I don't think it was anything dangerous, I wouldn't have said, but I think he genuinely went for the ball, but just mistimed it completely and ended up with a bit of a follow-through, and I think that's probably what the referee didn't like.
They sound worse, don't they, as well, when they clash the shin pads? They sound,
yeah.
The sound can sometimes go into Flower. Just looking for Achiampong, and Mendelado had space over on the right side as well. Flip around a corner from Williams, but again, Keanu Dyer absolutely everywhere in this first half.
It's been a good performance up to this point.
Mary Campbell to clip the ball towards Goldin and Flower. Williams and Dorrington going to again look to do the same for his team, but Murray Campbell every bit equal to it on the pitch or in the air at the moment.
Yeah, I just wonder what Spurs' answer is, to be honest. You know, attacking wise, I think we've been very, very solid and kept them at bay, even when they got inside our penalty area and looked dangerous. We've had bodies in there that have dealt with every situation, so I think they've got to come up with another plan, because we're still looking dangerous when we go forward.
Final 60 seconds of the half. Oh, it's a lovely feat from Tudor Mendelado. He skips past 3 or 4 and wins a throw-in for Chelsea.
Yeah, he's got some quick feet, hasn't he? Goes with his turn of pace as well. Obviously a player to keep an eye on for the future.
I know it gets mentioned quite a lot, but he's a quick mind as well. Extremely intelligent off the pitch. which I know is no longer a rarity. Not that I'm saying they weren't in your day, Clive, but...
What are you trying to say?
Opportunity now for Spurs, though. One of the last ones of the half, and here's Mikey Moore. Oh, and it's all the way across goal, and Jamie Donnelly has got a tap in. Spurs are back on level terms.
Yeah, we gave them the ball away cheaply in that midfield area, didn't we, initially? And then Spurs had enough bodies going forward to cause us problems and get into good areas. Just didn't manage to stop the cross, did we? Didn't do well enough there. Didn't get close enough to the ball. And sometimes a little stroke of luck goes the opponent's way, and that certainly has there for me in picking out Donnelly.
Jamie Donnelly has equalised for Tottenham Hotspur, are back on level terms.
I'd have to say they don't deserve it. I think we've been the better of the two sides. We deserve to be in front going into the break. Just hope it doesn't dent the confidence too much for the players.
It's bringing back some not nice flashbacks from earlier in the season. The senior team where Spurs number 10 scored seconds before the whistle. Thankfully, there's another 45 minutes that Chelsea can find something, as try and do that before the half-time break, as Michael Golding into the feet of Lewis Flower on his left foot. He strikes a cross goal.
It's unlucky, isn't it? I mean, he's got to do it. He's got to have a go, to be fair, once you get into that position. Michael Golding does really well again, doesn't he? Just sees that pass, doesn't he? That if you give him a run, he'll see the pass, and I think that's intelligent play, something that you can't teach anyone. It's something he's got within him. And you just improve on it slightly as he grows up, but certainly can see that pass, which is really, really important.
Referee does draw to a close this first half, and it ends as it began, all square. Chelsea did take the lead through Michael Golding. Fantastic build-up play from Frankie Runham to twist and turn and make the angle before Golding just curled it into the far corner. And then seconds before the half-time interval, Jamie Donnelly taps in at the far post to equalise for the host. It's been a half of almost two halves, really, Clive. The first 10 or 15 minutes quite cagey, and then it started to open up a little bit. Chelsea on the ascendancy, and will be bitterly disappointed to come in level.
Yeah, so we said about the score in the first goal, didn't we? Now the confidence rose for Chelsea in that period, and we looked really good on the ball, comfortable passing, players getting in advanced areas, overlaps, shots away as well, crosses coming in. So it's nice to see all that. It's just that we've had that one period where they get through into our area and score it, and I don't think they actually deserved it. Again, we talk about things that happened in the first half. You know, it's easier to head the ball down for somebody else there rather than go for goal. This was what we would obviously call direct football. Forget all the passing, just lump it forward and get onto the flick-ons, and you have to accept that that was a good challenge. But a chance certainly for Mendel Edu. On odd occasions, Spurs got into good areas, but most of the time didn't give us too many problems. Shots shouldn't be beating the goalkeeper from that position, and didn't on this occasion.
See that Donnelly's definitely their danger man there. The 3 or 4 sightings of goal they had, he's looked the most likely. Yeah,
I think the ball goes into him in certain areas, and we're in trouble, you know, if you're not close enough to him, because again he will make things happen for Spurs. But up until the goal, you know, I thought we defended well. We closed ranks at times. We allowed them to shoot from distance, which doesn't bother Kerr at all. So, you know, it was good up until that final moment. And sometimes you have to hold your hands up. It happens. This was a great overlapping run. He's come a long way, hasn't he, to drag players out of the way. A little clip to the far post. Unfortunately for Lewis Flower, he couldn't quite steer that one on target. So there were times when perhaps we could have maybe got more goals, but wasn't to be.
Definitely the danger side so far. Frankie Runham's been very heavily involved, and I suppose that's a good sign for Spurs. Really, on one hand, means that they're keeping Mendel Edu quiet, but on the other side, it means that you've got 2 players to keep quiet. And if you let one of them start to build into the game like they did with Frankie Runham, he'll punish you. And in a second, we'll see exactly what a devastating impact he can have as he gets the assist for the opening goal. Yeah,
and I think what we have shown in wide areas is we got some pace and trickery, you know, and both players on both sides of the pitch for us are quite capable of causing problems. I think Spurs are aware of that. I think they're a bit more methodical. I think we're probably a little bit more creative, and this is one that we did create, and really well finished by Michael Golding. Superb finish.
Bit of the Clive Walker about him there, actually. Clive, wasn't it, on the touchline? Lovely little turn and spin.
Well, it's nice to see, You know, he's got the turning, but not only done that, his pace has taken him away from He's completely lost the defender. I mean, it's brilliant attacking play. I'd like to say I could have done that, but I think the defender would have pulled me down in my day, and I'd have been rolling on the floor injured. But to see it move on and flow is great, and the way Michael finishes that, absolutely terrific.
It's a really nice finish, isn't it? Really composed finish to give Chelsea the lead, and it looked from there on in that Chelsea were going to hold on to it. They had to weather the storm a little bit as the immediate moments after. Harrison Murray-Campbell there with the double block and a good save from Teddy Kerr as well. But like you mentioned, that attitude to dig in and sort of throw your body on the line, very evident here. Yeah,
and I think it's part of the game. If you can't do this, then you know you're not going to be a good defender. You can be good on the ball and look special, but you've got to do the hard stuff as well. But just on the odd one or two occasions, Spurs showed a little bit of something, but we were dealing with it. And just a shame that we give the goal away. But this was unlucky as well. Good save from the goalkeeper.
Yeah, it could quite easily have just looped in, couldn't it? You've seen many of those.
But when you put them all together, we've looked at the more dangerous side of the two.
Yeah, you're definitely right. Even if on sort of the balance of things, perhaps Spurs have had a few more sightings. They've been half chances rather than real chances, haven't they?
Yeah, it's just unfortunate we gave the ball away in that sort of area. Spurs just fancied it, one last onslaught. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players in the penalty area. You know, they knew the half-time whistle was coming, so they loaded the box. They gambled, they took a chance, which is what you should do. Get players in the box, try and be creative. They've managed to do that, which is a shame for us.
Absolutely, and it's a tap in at the far post for Jamie Donnelly, who's, like we mentioned before the game, very highly thought of within the Spurs ranks, and he's had a very impressive say on things in the first half as he equalised, but very, very nearly Lewis Flower immediately, and Chelsea back in front.
Yeah, just one last late chance, wasn't it, which is unlucky.
Very unlucky. It's been a good half of football so far, and you'd say both coaches will be quite pleased with things that they've seen, but also very aware there's still work to do in the second half, and maybe it won't be too long before we see one or two opportunities from the substitutes bench. But realistically, I think if you're Ed Brand, you're quite pleased that first 45 minutes, Hugh.
I think so. I think we saw what we probably would have seen in the first 10-15 minutes, where we see it very lively and people losing possession. We saw a lot of that, giving the ball away cheaply, but we settled down, and then we got our goal, and all of a sudden we were by far the better side. Unfortunately, as we always say, if you can get one, get two and capitalise on it, it didn't happen, and Spurs just right at the death there as we give a cheap ball away, capitalised on an opportunity.
Absolutely right. Chelsea have obviously been in action the last couple of weeks, including the PL Cup in which they played Derby County recently. Let's have a look at some of those highlights from that game. It's a difficult one as well, because Chelsea have got obviously plenty to develop and need to progress in, and to go behind early against Derby County was quite disappointing on this occasion. It's still a very good group, and a lot of those that we're seeing again today. Tudor Mendelado very much important in that game, and you can see his influence here as he eventually will to tap in from a very narrow angle.
He's done well there as well, hasn't he? Yeah, he hasn't panicked when the ball's come to, which is what I like to see. He just controls the ball, takes it onto his other foot and side foots it home.
Lewis Flower again involved, and will eventually be an opportunity for Donald McNeely, who's on the bench this afternoon, keeping Chelsea in front.
I think he was pleased with that.
He was. He had every right to be to pleased with it, didn't he? And then you could see the gloss put on it by, eventually, when it comes back, Tudor Mendelado, who gets his second of the game.
Well, endeavour, stay with it. It doesn't count until it goes in the back of the net.
Absolutely right.
Very good.
Absolutely right. 100% take it. Well, Tudor Mendelado not quite on the score sheet as of yet, but very much in a part of this Chelsea team. Quite a lot going on at the moment, of course. Tomorrow afternoon at Stamford Bridge. Don't forget, Chelsea are in WSL action against Tottenham Hotspur. You can hear live commentary of that on the Fifth Stand app. Of course, tickets were snapped up quite readily, as you'd imagine, for a big derby game. Speaking of the WSL side, this week, big contract news from the football club, in which Erin Cuthbert has extended her stay in blue.
I joined the club when I was 18. I was just a kid. I didn't really think it was possible for a little girl from Irvine, Ayrshire, to achieve what I've did already, but for me, the hard work's just beginning. Oh my God, I got so many good times. Wow. The league, winning it on the last day to Manchester United, that was just so special. The FA Cups, we've got 2 FA Cup finals in one season, what's that about? It's no secret that I think all these players want the Champions League. Honestly, this club and this squad is at a place where we can certainly compete. The fans are my second family. Well, I see them more than my family, so they're always there in the numbers, singing loud and proud.
Susie, what are you listening to?
Me? Oh, I'm listening to Erin Cuthbert, Erin Cuthbert. They've certainly gave me a lot of love, so I'm really appreciative of that and thankful, and I'm sure that they'll be that I've signed a new contract. This is my club, this is where I want to be. Was there ever any doubt?
An absolute superstar, and I can 100% tell you as a Chelsea fan myself, and every Chelsea fan around the world delighted that Erin Cuthbert has extended her stay here at Chelsea. And not only will she be involved tomorrow, but thankfully we are very lucky to have Emma Hayes that's going to be back in the dugout for tomorrow after her recovery and a little spell out of the dugout herself. So that's going to be a fantastic occasion tomorrow afternoon. Chelsea obviously take on Tottenham tomorrow, and then Real Madrid in the Champions League in midweek, so keep your eye on that across the 5th stand. Here we are all square at half-time as Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur play in the Under-18s Premier League. It's been a good first half of football, some chances that are coming through, and just saw Tudor Mendel-Adoy scoring twice against Derby County. He could have opened his account this morning were it for a fantastic tackle in the end from Chaplin, who wasn't on a booking at that point, but I wonder if he would have been on a booking, whether he'd have been thinking twice about making that tackle. It's a really important one though. He's done really well there. And Jamie Donnelly, at first sighting a goal for him, he did eventually get himself on the score sheet, and you can see the problems he can cause, but it's been very end-to-end so far. It's been a good half of football in patches, and see here as Mikey Moore having a chance on Ted Kerr. Just coming back to that, Clive, in fact, because we spoke about the competition for places for a goalkeeper. You've seen in the first team about how Chelsea essentially now have 2 number 1s in Nedu Mendy and Kepa Arrizabalaga. I wonder if that translates all the way down, because in some teams perhaps you see one goalkeeper play 40 games a season and 1 5. But if you've got 2 goalkeepers that are playing 25 between them, that might give you a little bit of confidence throughout the age groups, mightn't it?
Yeah, I would guess so, but I think from a goalkeeper's perspective, more often than not, you don't have goalkeepers play 225 games a season. It's usually one more than the other, as a rule. And I think goalkeepers are a specialist position that you're looking for utmost perfection, if you like, because it saves so many situations. And again, it's down to probably choice at the end by the manager at the time, the coach, whatever he feels he's going to get the best out of his man. I think for these guys at this level, they can learn probably more than players on the pitch. I think goalkeepers is such a specialised thing. You can learn from the other bodies around you, the other guys who are trying to pinch your position, if you like. But you certainly learn. Well, these guys can learn from Mendy and Kepa as well, because these two have got different skills, different abilities, but are fabulous at those sort of best parts of their game. And if you can improve 10% one year, 10% the next year, when they get to 20, 21, 22, we can have exceptional goalkeepers because they've learned small things along the way. So the big things, something has to come from within, but the small things, the everyday things, come from these top goalkeepers.
And you see it more and more as well. Goalkeepers that are going out on loan. I mean, Prince Adegoko, who's played a lot of football at Chelsea, was big in the FA Youth Cup last season and has played a lot of under-18s games. He went on loan to Woking in the National League at the start of the season, and then you've got obviously Teddy Sharman-Lowe, of course, who's out on loan at the moment. And I suppose when you are a goalkeeper, like you say, you do need to be in that rhythm and perhaps learning more, like you said there, from the players in front of you. When you do go out on loan to a senior team, as it were, it stands you in good stead if you've played in a number of different discrepancies.
Yeah, I think it's hard when you say to players at this level to go and play at lower league teams. It's very, very hard. But there's different styles up and down the leagues, and I always think it's good for these players to learn that, because with the greatest respect, not every one of these players is going to play for Chelsea's first team, whether you're a goalkeeper or an outfield player. So go and get a feel of what it's like at other levels, and maybe you can understand how much harder you have to work. It pushes you on a little bit more. You might not have the best of times, you might not make the greatest of saves or the best decisions, but at least you're going to learn something along the way that you might not have learned playing at academy level. So it's a good way to improve on your career, and you can then, and it is about a career, it's not always about playing for just one team for the rest of your life. It doesn't really in reality work that way. So you have a career where you start at the top and maybe just gradually drop down. So yeah, and whatever position you're playing, learn something from every single position that you, or every team that you play for.
What advice would you give a younger player then, having made that step yourself and gone on to have a fantastic career? What would you say to the younger players? Is it about testing themselves at a younger age, or is it perhaps about sort of feeling their way through the career?
I would think it's about feeling your way through. Yeah, I mean, it's understanding it as well. I mean, sometimes the worst things are the disappointments, and mostly that I find when I've spoken to players, throughout the years, is the disappointment is not playing. That's why we have big squads now. We rotate a lot. We didn't have such big squads, and we didn't rotate so much, so everybody was playing. But it's hard to keep these guys on the pitch. They want to play. That's all they want to do. They want to play football, and you can't blame them for that. It's a great career if you can have it. And you always want to play for the team at the top. It's obvious. You want to win things. That's the reason you're there. But sometimes it doesn't always work out that way. But what you've learned as a youngster, especially at this level, can take you to the top at another level. I've seen players over the last 3 or 4 years come out of academies and drop down, and all of a sudden bounce back again. And you can see where they've learned their trade, because of just the way they are, and the way the style and the thought process and the mind and the brain works a lot quicker than players who come up from the bottom and work their way up slowly.
Could have been giving that advice to an 18-year-old that's playing in the Chelsea academy, or a 37-year-old that's playing for Manchester United, or not playing for Manchester United at the moment. Perhaps no bombshell interviews if they're not getting the nod in an under-18s Premier League game, though. Perhaps there is a little bit more patience at this level now.
Yeah, I think when you're 37, act 37, to be honest.
Time to get us moving again. Chelsea kicked us off originally, but here are Spurs on the first showing at goal potentially. Here is falling back to Mikey Moore. It's good feet and well defended in the end, and it bounces off Boniface, who can shield it behind for a corner kick. Good lively start from the host, which will be not unnerving from Chelsea's perspective, but certainly a chance to perhaps get themselves warm very quickly, because Spurs seem to have started quickly.
Well, obviously something's been said at the break, and we said that Chelsea were probably the more dominant in front of goal, and maybe that's what they're looking for, to be a bit more positive in front of our goal. So we've got to be careful.
Deep corner there toward Lancashire, and I think his header in fact comes off Lewis Flower, who does a defensive job there, the centre forward back in his own box on this occasion, and ricochets off him for a corner to Tottenham.
Yeah, I just feel like, when it happens like this as well, and teams get corners over and over again, you just feel that you're under a little bit of pressure. So this is a mental situation. The game is half mental and half physical, so we've got to be switched on here.
Another deep corner, and Teddy Kerr does really well there to rise highest and grasp the ball. Good take from him. A lot of bodies around him there as well, isn't there? He's doing really well.
Under pressure, yeah.
Releases very quickly over to the far side. Here's Boniface, who can use Frankie Runham on the far touchline to us now. To Michael Golding, the goal scorer in the first half. To Boniface. Works an angle and wins a corner.
Yeah, that'll do. Sometimes you get stuck in a position, as he does there, Boniface, and he's got to do something. He's got no pass on. He's got 2 or 3 players around him. And I heard a scream, and I'm sure it came from Ed Brand. Just do it. And that means just get your head down and deliver. And that's all he's done. And in doing that, gets the block, we get the corner. And that's being positive. And, this is good play, because we turned it back around again on Spurs.
Here is a corner to be taken by Frankie Runham with the in-swinger. Is an in-swinger. It's towards the front post. It was Murray Campbell there. Acrobatic second attempt, but the whistle had already gone.
I'm not sure. Was that for a push or was it for a handball? I'm not sure. It's a great ball in. When it goes over the first couple of players at the near post, you think there's a chance. I'm not sure what the referee was blowing for, to be honest.
No, I think 1 or 2 quizzical looks towards him from not just Chelsea players, but I think Spurs players as well. But perhaps didn't want to make eye contact.
And that's strange as well, because I don't think they understood why the whistle was blown.
Straight forward to Lancashire, and ball bounces off Murray Campbell for a throw into Spurs. Just creeping into the Chelsea half now. Donnelly. No changes for Chelsea at half-time, just to run you through Chelsea 11 that's kicked off the second half with Teddy Kerr, Josh Achiampong, Travis Akamia, Harrison Murray Campbell, Samoto Boniface, Keanu Dyer, Harrison McMahon, Michael Golding, Tudor Mendel-Lado, Frankie Runham and Lewis Flower. Here is Achiampong, right full-back in his green boots. For Tottenham Hotspur, it's Luca Gunter, George Abbott, Alfie Dorrington, Maxwell McKnight and Archie Chaplin. Kai Martin, Williams, Donnelly, Sessi Moore and Lancashire leading the line for Spurs in the second half. No one quite blinking just yet, but I imagine on the balance of the first half, both managers will have reasons to be pleased with that first half showing. If you're Chelsea manager, probably happier Ed Brand being on the performance, and Tottenham boss pleased to still be in the game.
Yeah, I guess at 1-0 they'd have been 1-0 down, they'd have still been in the game, but I think to get back on level terms is a bonus for them in many respects. I think his team talk would have changed at half-time. They'd have been 1-0 down, you know, maybe a little bit more anxious when he talks to the players, but probably a bit more relaxed. The fact that they did manage to get the goal, and I think from Ed Brand's point of view, I think he'd be more than happy with the performance. Maybe with the activity in front of goal, maybe we could have been a bit more clinical, but it's been reasonably tight, hasn't it? And you just feel at 1-1, it's anybody's game at the moment.
Really is, and like you mentioned at the start of the game, playing in a Chelsea-Tottenham game, there's always something on it, so I wonder if perhaps there's a little bit more of a twist in the tail for either team, and as we start to progress through the second half, things open up a little bit. It was a good save in the end there from Ted Kerr after Donnelly's whipped-in cross, and Lewis Flower looking to race onto that pass from Frankie Runham. High press again from Chelsea here, though. Sky's darkening over North London. Champong does well there to step in front of McKnight. Mendel-Lado could be free here. He's got space to run into. He's got Flower at the far post, and McMahon, who's offering an option in the box as well. He's into corner.
Yeah, again, 2 against 1. He's closed down. I think if he could have moved it on a bit quicker initially, he might not have found himself in that situation. But once you get there, then you've got to make something of it, and he does. Gets themselves a corner. This was a chance, though, wasn't it, a few moments ago for Donnelly to get into a good position. Not a bad ball in, but Spurs just didn't sort of bust a gut enough to get in there, in my opinion.
Corner to be taken at the other end then. Mendel-Lado waves Golden off to join the attack for Chelsea in the box. Swinging corner. It's bounced so kindly, but then kindly in the end, actually, for Tottenham, who can hook the ball clear.
Yeah, I don't think defended brilliantly by Spurs, but again, get away with it. One boot and it's up the other end, and you have to regroup and get everybody back into position. I always say just after the break, you never know what's going to happen with the opposing team. It looked like Spurs came out quite quickly as we give the ball away.
5 into Lancashire.
Yeah, I just feel that we've just solved that problem. We're now 7.5 minutes in, and just feel that we can now take advantage, maybe.
Marn's going to chase Chaplin all the way back, though. Very similar, in fact, to the opening 7 or 8 minutes of the first half, where neither team showing a huge amount of... There's a little bit more caution in their approach for the opening, but like you said, Spurs started the first 60 seconds, but have slowed back into a rhythm here.
Yeah, just slowed down a little bit, haven't they? And it's given us a chance maybe to regroup. Sometimes you're always in a little bit of fear that the team are just going to be like an onslaught. It hasn't happened, does it, from Spurs? And I think that comes from midfield. I think they've just allowed their forwards to try and get forward, but midfield, they've not really given us too many problems.
Run there from Lewis Flower, but he couldn't quite keep possession of it, but thankfully for him, ricochet falls as far as Murray Campbell, who can give it to Boniface, and now to Runham, and Kinfield to Dyer. So neat and tidy on the ball is Keanu Dyer. What a player.
I think this is where we have to be a little bit patient as well with the ball sometimes. You know, again, big crossfield ball. I don't think that crossfield ball's on. We have won the ball back because Spurs have given it back to us, but be a bit more patient. We can have more possession of the ball.
It's Mendelado driving into the box. He stepped away 3 or 4, and McMahon's going to loop it towards the far post, towards Runham, lean in the back, but not given by the referee. Not enough there for a foul, and Williams can shepherd the ball away from Golding and back to Dorrington, who can just hook it forward.
Again, when that long ball comes forward, Murray Campbell seems to win nearly every single header, doesn't he? I mean, he does well there. It just takes the danger away from us and allows us to get back into position. I'm saying, well, it's a simple thing to do. It's not, you know, but you have to be first to the ball, and he's done that on more than one occasion.
Interplay there, and Akamia steps across Olosesi to win the foul.
But again, when Spurs come forward in those situations, they don't actually look that dangerous. You know, we mentioned it in the first half. Yeah, they got up into the final third. And there's a couple of players, the obvious one being Donnelly, but if it doesn't go through Donnelly, they don't actually look that dangerous, which is a good thing for us.
It's Dyer. Not got much room to play with, but does really well to wriggle away from a challenge and give himself half a yard. Composed from Kerr into Murray Campbell, and tight as the spaces. Chelsea worked really well.
Good play.
There could be chance for Mendelado to stretch his legs as he gets the ball on the right-hand side. He's got McMahon for the overlap if he wants him. He uses him. Narrow angle now for McMahon.
It's unlucky there. Do you know what? The pace of the ball just got slowed down when it comes up to Mendelado on that right-hand side. The ball's slightly behind him. He has to sort of wait for it to drag it forward, and just allow Spurs defenders, a couple of them, to get back across and into position. If that ball is played forward to him a little bit sharper, a little bit crisper, he's away and on his bike, and he is so quick, they'll never get anywhere near him. Just minor details, but make such a difference.
Fortunate for it to cannon back off McMahon as well and go up for a goal kick in the end. I think a bit of confusion between the referee and the referee's assistant, but I think unfortunately on that occasion they did get the decision correct. Akamiya's coming together there with Lancashire, and it's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, I think it's a free kick. I think it is a coming together. I don't think he's done it intentionally, trying to win the ball initially in front and then just bundles into the centre forward. Sometimes you just got to be careful when you've got a high line like that. You are sometimes the last defender as well. So maybe just getting a bit too tight on this occasion.
Just 5 yards inside Chelsea's half, but Spurs gets back underway now with Abbott. Lovely turn there from Kaya Martin. Mikey Moore using McKnight as the overlap. Olosesi looking for the nutmeg, and it's fallen to Mikey Moore, who's going to work an angle to strike it. The deflection takes it wide. It's a Spurs corner.
And again, good defending. Just looked dangerous at one stage there, Spurs, where you thought they could have got a shot away a bit quicker, a bit crisper. We could have been in trouble. Nice bit of skill here down the line. Just waits for the opportunity to make the pass. There you see the runner managing to get something on the ball, and here's the block again.
It's Murray Campbell again, I think.
I'm just going to say, yeah, it's him again, isn't it? Poor corner again, does us a favour.
Up in the air by Achiampong and headed away by Golding. McKnight back to Mikey Moore. Here's Chaplin. Drilled low cross, and it's fallen to Donnelly. Chelsea just Napoli to nudge it away in the end. Michael Golding looking to get Flower going quickly, but Dorrington can step in, and Chapman again is still a player down in the Chelsea box.
He's got to stop the game, surely, with the defender on the floor.
Lancashire not allowing that, and Murray Campbell again is in the way.
Yeah, I know we talk about it all the time, don't we, about referees stopping games when there's a head injury. Of course you do, straight away, but in the position that he's at, I think the referee should stop the game there a little bit quicker. We've got away with it, managed to push the ball away. I think as well, a moment or two ago when we're trying to sort of launch the ball forward, Michael Golding trying to smash it forward, I think it's the right idea. I think it was the right idea, just didn't get enough pace on the ball and didn't ping it far enough over the top, but it would have worked for me if it had cleared their defenders.
Harry Kane lookalike down here by the Tottenham bench, but fairly certain he's preoccupied at the moment somewhere else. But
he's a bit busy, yeah.
He is, yeah. Here's Dorrington.
That's what you get here at Spurs, a few lookalikes.
Quite possibly.
That's what you can say when you have a bad game. It wasn't me, it's my standing.
Lovely ball over the top. Mikey Moore now with a half chance, and he drills it low, and it's a good save again in the end by Ted Kerr.
He just gets himself a little bit of space, doesn't he? Gets beyond Achipong. Decent save again by Kerr. Makes it look easy, doesn't he, sometimes, Kerr? You know, we see him take a few crosses cleanly and under a bit of pressure while he's doing it.
Very composed, very, very composed. Highly rated goalkeeper. Been at the club since _9, so certainly won't be his first taste of Chelsea Tottenham, but at this level, again, it starts to get a little bit more.
Yeah, it gets more intense as, you know, the older you get, for sure. And this was a lovely crossfield ball, wasn't it? And well taken there. It's a good first touch. Just settles the ball down. Gets it on target. To be fair to Kerr, maybe was slightly unsighted, but makes the save look easy.
Oh, very, very nearly there as Mikey Moore nipping in, but Akamia can nick it now between Mendelado and Achiampong. There's a bit of space down this right-hand side. He instead elects to cut across field and give it to Boniface on the far side. Here's Runham. Cuts inside. Here's Lewis Flower around the corner, and Dorrington can,
unlucky.
Can see the throw-in.
Yeah, unlucky. You know, that's what you want to see. A little bit of skill, a little bit of trickery inside and just on the outside of the penalty area. Can be creative at times.
Here's Boniface. To the feet of Golding, already on the score sheet, looking to double his tally for the afternoon. Big deflection though, and Spurs can regroup and wriggle away. Lancashire's on the floor over there as coming together with Mendelado.
Ended up good defending by Spurs, didn't it? And we talked about that with Chelsea for most of the game, back getting defenders in the way and body on the line. Spurs are doing it as well. Said it earlier, didn't we? This game is totally in the balance. Could go either way.
Olasesi needs to be a little bit careful. He's already in the referee's notebook. I think 1 or 2 on the Chelsea bench, just reminding the official of that.
We always remind them, don't we? I think they know, these refs. You always have to tell them. But yeah, he just said to him there, you know, just be careful. You're right, Joe. You know, he's already on a yellow card. He's now had a warning. Referee saying, you know what, don't do that again. And this is the worst time at this level. You don't want players sent off. You want these players playing 11 v 11 because that's what it's all about generally. But if it happens, we beat Spurs, well, so be it.
Yeah, all the rules go out of the way when you play Spurs, really, don't they? You want a fair game, but unfortunately, Chelsea and Tottenham, I'm sure there's many a Spurs fan in exactly the same position. But here's McMahon trying to Chelsea going again, but clip ball in. Defended by George Abbott. Was looking for
midfield, wasn't it? A couple of players doubling up, winning the ball quickly. Just that final pass, trying to do a little bit too much. Maybe keep it a little bit more simple.
Just over an hour played. Still plenty of options for both teams to change it. Chelsea have got options on the bench, and including Donnell McNeely, who we saw scoring recently in the PL Cup win over Derby County, and Tariq George, who's terrific quality and already scored 1 or 2 goals in the U18 Premier League this season. So plenty of players that can still have their say on the occasion. It is Chelsea Spurs, and it's one that will stay with you certainly. It's 1-1 currently. Michael Golding's strike on the half hour. Here he is in possession by Jamie Donnelly, but here's Tudor Mendeladou coming inside to Achiampong. Golding looking to thread it and back to Runham. Took it early.
It's not a bad idea. I mean, as the goalkeeper's trying to adjust and get himself set and into position. Just too close to him, wasn't it, in the end? I think he tried to pick out that far post corner, but just gets too much on it. Hits the target, which is more than important, but again, it was a good break by us, wasn't it? It looked like nice flowing movement, as we saw for the opening goal of the game. Lovely bit of flowing movement from players in wide areas, and that's what you want to achieve over and over again.
Right on cue, there will be a change, and it will be from the hosts, who looking to make things fall in their favour now as they replace. Just waiting to see who it will be. It'll be Damola Ajayi coming on and Gabriel Wilhoft-King.
Well, we thought at this sort of stage, 25 minutes to go, that teams were going to make some changes. Just wondered if Brown was thinking of anything. Maybe that signal now that Spurs have made a couple of changes gives them a chance to have a think about how Spurs change the face of the game. Do they change formation, or is it just a question of like for like?
Here's McMahon. Teasing cross into the near post. It's just flicked wide from Mendeladou.
It's unlucky, isn't it? Very, very unlucky. It's a decent ball. Just opens up his body really nicely to make this delivery here. There we see it, a little bit of bend, a little bit of swerve. Good pace on the ball. Just can't quite steer it on target, Mendeladou.
Half sight in for potentially another one here as Dyer just nipped in.
It's actually good defending, to be honest. One mistake there. Well, they'd already made one mistake, another mistake, and that would have been it. But Chaplin just steps in. Intelligent play by him. Sometimes as well, when you make substitutions, it just unsettles the side slightly. Sometimes it can be a big advantage, but I always think you need to have the football. So if we can keep it for a second or two and maybe cause problems, we might catch Spurs unaware at the moment.
As predicted, after that coming together a minute ago, Olasesi being one of them and Williams being the other substitute, means that it's a midfield change more than an attacking one. Fairly like for like in terms of personnel that are coming on, but fresh legs can certainly play a part, and the hour mark tends to be when managers start to tinker with things.
They start to look, isn't it, and start to think about it. Things are not going their way.
Looking to release McMahon over the top. Ball now fall kindly for Harrison McMahon. Flower into Achiampong. To Dyer. Now Boniface over the far side. It's Frankie Runham. Cuts inside, does Frankie Runham. He tries to look for that far corner, but just gets under it a little bit.
Yeah, you see his intentions, can't you? You know what he wants to do, and try and find that far top corner. Just lean it back slightly, but on a stretch as well. Difficult to get it on target.
Chelsea's turn to make a change now by the looks of things. Donnell McNeely being readied. Looks like it's going to be a like-for-like change. McNeely coming on for Lewis Flower. Certainly making his way over to the touchline, but will be Lewis Flower. He's had a good morning's work to the early afternoon. He's put a lot in. He's done a lot of thankless running since the early exchanges. Fairly similarly, actually, one of the games we've watched this season, Clive with Dinamo Zagreb in the UEFA Youth League, it was the other way around, and McNeely started and do a lot of tiresome run in the first 70 minutes, and then Lewis Flower come on and managed to get a goal. So I'm sure that McNeely will be hoping to return the favour this afternoon.
I'm sure he will. Fresh legs as well. Different style as well, so that can make a difference.
Mendelado, lovely bit of trickery there. Into Achiampong, opens up onto his left foot. What a strike, what a goal that is from Josh Achiampong. What a phenomenal finish from the fullback. Chelsea retake the lead. Brilliant work initially from Tudor Mendelado. Chopping and changing, he shifts the ball back to Josh Achiampong and he just lets rip. What a finish.
Good skills initially, wasn't it? But look at the space he's been afforded. And that's Mendelado, drags defenders over one way, brings it back the other. But I tell you what, Achiampong will be so pleased with that, on his weaker left foot as well, but doesn't he strike it superbly? Top corner, no chance for the goalkeeper whatsoever, and that's what you want. You want that little bit of space to be able to take on the chance, and he does, and finishes it superbly.
Brilliant finish from Josh Achiampong, who's done fantastically well today. He's played a huge part in Chelsea's, all Chelsea's good work, to be fair, in the last few weeks, in a number of different roles that he's been deployed in. Saw him play in a sort of more of a wing-back role in a 3 at the back, and he's playing more of a right-back role in a 4 today, but he's been fantastic defensively and now gets his name on the score sheet. Chelsea retake the lead.
And that's a question of, can we keep it? I mean, that's the obvious thing, but also, can we go on and maybe get another, because that would certainly secure the win. But it just lifts your confidence, doesn't it? Just makes you more aware. I think as well, from our perspective, I think when you get into this position now, it's important over the next 3 or 4 or 5 minutes just to keep the ball if you can. You know, nothing more frustrating for the opponents. They've just gone a goal down. They want to get on the ball. They're in a hurry to do everything. If they can't get hold of the ball, they can't do it. So keep a level head, you know, just think about your pass. Make sure you find a blue shirt.
No foul given there. Neely with his first real touch of the ball into Mendelado. Trying to show Knight a clean pair of heels again, but already has left a lasting impression, I'm sure. As is this man taking the throw in, Josh Achiampong, after a fantastic goal. It's given Chelsea the lead. Here is McNeely. Uses Boniface on the left-hand side. It's a hung-up cross towards Mendelado. It's a really good save for a second there as well, Clive. I thought maybe there was a leg that was hung out and it's going to bring Boniface down. He did really well.
Yeah, it could have done, but eventually he gets into good position, doesn't he, to make the delivery. Steps over here. Is that just inside or outside the box? But this is a great ball. Good position, Mendelado. Again, he's got to do better, to be honest, in my opinion. Maybe that's not his big forte, heading, but once you get there, got to have that technique to try and steer it past the goalkeeper.
20 minutes to play. Chelsea 2-1 to the good.
You'd have to say it's a big chance that possibly could have finished the game for us. I think that could have put us really on the front foot. But again, as I said, confidence comes with goals, as always. And we're looking nice and confident at the moment. Even the goalkeeper's having a go.
Speaking of confidence, fantastic there from Teddy Kerr.
He doesn't look short of confidence anyway, as most goalkeepers don't, but took a chance there. But again, just didn't look bothered, not flustered by it at all. Just keep the ball moving though, keep possession, keep passing the ball, frustrate Spurs, don't let them get a touch.
Just sucking the life out of play a little bit at the moment as well, which will be very pleasing to Ed Brand in keeping possession. Here's Dyer back to Murray Campbell, and he's playing a lovely ball over the top. Nearly, look, for a second there it was going to hang up for him.
I just thought he was a bit late going for it, McNeely. I don't think he thought he could get there, and then the Spurs player stopped and it looked like the ball was dropping between the last defender and the goalkeeper, and then he took off, and I thought if he'd have just reacted a little bit sharper, maybe he's only just come on, we'll give him a benefit of the doubt.
Recently signed his first pro contract, Daniel McNeely, so certainly in a celebratory mood, I'm sure, after on a score sheet in his last outing as well. So 20 minutes to continue that spell of good form from him on and off the pitch. Raking pass towards Mikey Moore, and Achiampong's done well there to stand up against Donnelly. Free kick not given. It's back to Claire Martin. He's given a free kick right on the edge here.
Yeah, it's on the edge of the box, just outside the penalty area. I thought there was a foul initially, the referee doesn't give it, and I think then all of a sudden Chelsea players are totally flustered and out of position. Just gave Spurs an opportunity. I thought he should have pulled the trigger though. I thought there was a foul there on Achiampong, and then we see the ball being set up. If he shoots there, maybe that doesn't happen. We've got bodies who can make a challenge, but Now we've got to defend the free kick.
It's in a very good position. And it'll be a yellow card to Harrison Murray Campbell, who's been fantastic for Chelsea so far today.
All about organisation now and quality on the Spurs free kick. I'm sure Kerr is going to arrange his wall in the appropriate manner, but if the quality on the ball is too good, there's not a lot you can do about it. So if it's perfect, it will go in. If it's not, we might have a chance of blocking it.
Jamie Donnelly stood over it, as is man that won the free kick in Rio Karamartin.
The only thing I'd say is it's a little bit close to the edge of the box, very difficult to get up and over. So they might try something different here.
Looks like it will be Donnelly. It will be, and as you mentioned, yeah, it's one of those, didn't want to say it beforehand, but it's very close, isn't it? It's quite a difficult position in essence because it is so close.
Yeah, not many players can get that up and over, and I think the last person we saw for Chelsea was Didier Drogba, who'd be able to do something like that. So it's a technique which is very, very difficult to score from, but that's been done, and we see walls breaking and all sorts of things happening. The one thing you have to do is get it on target, which they don't do.
Here's McNeely now. Nipped out of possession. Spurs with about 15 or so minutes left of normal time to find an answer. Thus far, Teddy Kerr has been very nearly impenetrable in the Chelsea goal. He's had a good afternoon's work so far, and he'll hope the next 15 minutes go slightly quieter than the onslaught that Spurs will hope to produce. Here is a substitute, Wolhoft King. Dorrington stepping in. Here's Donnelly. Could be a chance here for Lancashire. A wonderful tackle again from Harrison Murray Campbell. What a performance from the Chelsea centre-half today. Another almost goal-saving tackle there.
Yeah, superb defending, isn't it? You have to say, though, for me, Lancashire just took just that half a second too long to get his shot away. 1, 2, 3 touches. That should be one touch and strike it. But it just gave us a chance to defend.
And Chelsea able to close the door on that occasion, but danger not fully averted just yet. Although Frankie Runham has put an emphatic full stop on that one as he hoofs it out of play.
Yeah, and he's done well, you know, dropping back in. That's not his position, doesn't want to be there probably. Wins the first header, then gets on the bounce on the rebound, second ball. You know, you can't do much more than that as a forward coming back into the penalty area. Good defending.
Mola Ajay, another substitute for Tottenham. Checking into Donnelly. Here to Moore. Back to McKnight. Try and tease one into the far post, and it's evaded everyone actually. I think the free kick's been given for a foul on Murray Campbell. A little nudge in the back potentially there from Lancashire.
Not a bad ball in, was it? Maybe Lancashire didn't really need to make the foul. Couldn't quite get on the end of it. Looks a bit of a handful on his day probably, but just doesn't, maybe hasn't quite got that pace to get him away from defenders, so his physicality comes into it, and that's why he gets a free kick away.
He scored twice in their last outing, did Will Lancashire, in the PL Cup win against Charlton Athletic, as did that number 11 on the ball just then, Mikey Moore. Here is a chance though for Ajay. Deep cross towards Donnelly, but he's not going to be able to keep it in play. Be a Chelsea goal kick, and an opportunity perhaps to take a few seconds and breathe your way back into composure.
Yeah, 13 minutes to go, and you just think, well, we said it before about keeping the ball. Not always that easy, of course, and if you get an opportunity, can you just find that second chance that gives you a goal, another goal, you know, and it will kill the game off. But it's always on a knife edge at 2-1. And the opponents know that as well, and they'll be pushing more men forward, gambling maybe a little bit more. Substitutions obviously have come into it, but from Spurs' point of view, their substitutions have made a great deal of difference for me. And this is where we just got to be patient with the ball. Be confident, but just be patient with it. That's good play there.
Akamia stepping in.
Now he needs some help. He's got no help there on the left-hand side. No one dropped in short and deep. Make it nice and simple for him. Get him overrunning the ball. You know, we're making it difficult.
Could be a break here for Spurs as Lancashire on the far side. It's a good save again from Teddy Kerr.
It's a good save, but I don't know if it was going over or not. But he just makes short. I didn't think it had a great deal of power in this strike, but again, he's in a good position, Teddy, isn't he? Just to step forward, get his angles right, make the save. But we can't, that's what we can't do, is give them chances, give them opportunities. And I think by overrunning the ball, running when we don't need to, make people drop short and deep and wide to keep the ball moving, spread the game across and make it as simple as possible. Just call it game management, just see the game through.
Just over 10 to go, Spurs corner. Just going to pop out onto the edge of the box now for Kyle Martin to strike it. And again, another Chelsea player able to just stick themselves in the way of it.
It's dangerous though, isn't it, when you see players on the edge of the box run onto a free ball and have an opportunity to strike from goal. It could go anywhere. Deflections always happen, don't they? But we've managed to get bodies in the way on many, many occasions.
Double change for Chelsea coming here. Yes. One of the goal scorers in Josh Achiampong is going to be replaced. In fact, both goal scorers are going to be replaced. Michael Golden as well going off there as Tariq George and Samuel Raksaki come on.
Key in front, Frankie behind. Stay with these. Shoot. Shoot in front.
Fresh legs won't hurt, will it? The Spurs players that tend to feel, we already mentioned it, they're going to come forward in numbers. So those fresh legs to cover and fill in the gaps is going to be important at this stage. So good idea by Ed to give the players that are on the pitch that little bit of extra support with some more running ability. That's good work too, pushing the ball back.
Harrison McMahon there is another one. He's putting a lot of yards.
He's gone unnoticed in many ways, hasn't he? But his work rate is terrific.
Yeah, completely agree. He's done really well. Here is Damola Ajayi, who's done well there to keep possession for Spurs. McNeely again doing the thankless running of pressing. He's done really well there, isn't he, to force the goalkeeper to 3 or 4 touches again.
Yeah, but 3 times, as Spurs trying to come forward, 3 times we've pushed them back. You know, it all saves extra time and helps players at the back to get back into position. Need to do it again here, though.
It could be a chance now as Spurs start to build with the substitute Ajayi on the far side. He cuts inside, manages to keep hold of play, and it opens up onto his left foot. For a second like he was going to strike it. Instead, he's going to use Mikey Moore, who could be in on goal.
It's got to go square, hasn't it? I think he's done well initially. Okay, again, he's up against Frankie Ranham, who doesn't want to be in that position, but he's left to do a job of defending. He didn't look like he enjoys it too much, which you can understand. But once he gets into that position, the ball's got to come across the face of the goal, surely. Got to use his other foot.
Lado with a step over in the ball roll, another step over again. Lovely little shift of play inside again.
Lovely way about him, hasn't he?
Magic on the ball, isn't he?
And then we say that for simple things. Sometimes, you know, it's overdoing things as well. You know, and he'll learn that as he goes along. There's times when to do that and when not to. There's times to find a blue shirt.
McNeely does really well to keep possession for Chelsea.
Again, just be simple here. Don't do anything difficult. Jai
back to Dorrington. Time against Tottenham with less than 10 on the clock to play. Long thrusted ball forward towards Mikey Moore, who immediately plays it to Donnelly. He's got options in the box. He tries to find one. Push on the edge. Will go Chelsea's way.
Again, in many ways, that's a coming together, isn't it? I think we've been a bit fortunate. It's a soft free kick for me. Just about, I suppose, in our favour. Again, good work by Spurs again. As we imagined would happen towards the end of the game, they're going to overload and players will have to gamble and get forward.
Chance for Teddy Kerr to let the clock do its work for the moment. Short to Harrison Murray Campbell. To McNeely. It's really well to bring it down on his chest. Sorry, George.
Again, a tragic for me, just trying to do too much. Gets the Spurs players all around him. Does he get us a corner? Well, yeah, does well in the end. Just really once you get that half turn in around halfway, and you've got an opportunity to push it into a wider area, just play it and then make your run. But he continued with the ball. To be fair to him, does well. Does get a corner out of it. This is where we've got to be patient. Keep the ball.
It's a short one between Mendeladou and Tariq George. Back to Keanu Dyer, who's going to keep possession.
Yeah, and that's fine. Look at Spurs. Look, they've dropped off. They're not pressing. So keep the ball. There's no need to go forward if you don't want to. That's better play. That's good play. Keep it simple.
Into Murray Campbell, excuse me, McMahon, who can't quite keep it in play. Substitution, and that's another change for Chelsea as Chinozo Chibueze comes on. It'll be Tudor Mendeladou who is replaced. Just over 5 minutes to go. Opportunity for Chibueze to make an impact in that remaining time.
Yeah, again, he's not got long, has he? But again, you know, it's important these players get time. We talked about the size of the squads for all clubs at this moment in time, and these youngsters really need some time on the pitch. So work rate, very, very important. Get the adrenaline flowing if you can and help the lads out.
His first introductions of the game might in fact be to do a bit of marking as he's stood beside Jamie Donnelly there. Ball doesn't come to him though, and Tariq George now. There's very little in the way of support, but other than Donnell McNeely, just out of shot there. Spurs can go back the other way though. Murray Campbell again, concedes a throw-in.
Again, he's just trying to do too much on the ball, isn't he? And lose possession, and that's what we can't afford to do at this stage. Just try and see the game through and keep it simple.
Boniface up against Ajayi. Chaplin. Knight over to Mikey Moore. He's got a bit of space until Chibueze can close that down. Donnelly's turned. It's a good ball. And yet again, Harrison Murray Campbell's there, but Donnelly's managed to win it back and wins a corner off of Frankie Runham.
I just feel this is sort of a last-ditch effort by Spurs to get back on level terms. And again, I said it just before the break when they scored, they didn't deserve that at half-time. I don't think they deserve anything here either. We're the better side.
Corner to be taken. It's an in-swing. It's a deep one as well when it's bounced all the way up. Referee not interested in the appeals coming from the Spurs players. Dyer does so well. And wins a foul as well.
Well, he's won us a foul. That's a cheap foul, which we'll certainly take at this stage. I understand the Spurs players not too happy with that decision from the referee. But yeah, Dyer does well initially, but runs into trouble.
Spurs going to make another change here. Yusuf Akmaric is going to come on. Rio Kaya Martin, who's had a good afternoon's work. Clock in Chelsea's favour, and Chaplin, who's already on a booking as well. He thunders into that one a little bit over-ambitiously.
Yeah, he did a little bit, didn't he? Just desperate, aren't they, Spurs at this stage? Minutes ticking away. Clumsy challenge, gives us a free kick and just gives us time to slow the game down a bit.
Here's George. Marn. Chibueze. Does well to work an angle, and it's a deep cross, but unfortunately on the occasion no one following in at the far post. So Murray Campbell again. It's been a brilliant battle between him and Lancashire up top, and I have to say it's the Chelsea defender that's going to go home the happier at the moment. In the air by Dorrington, not away, but it is by Ajayi at the second attempt. So we enter the final minute of normal time. Spurs breaking forward with a substitute. Akmarich steps past Boniface, and referee waves play on. Ball's into Donnelly.
I mean, the assistant referee gives a free kick, but he keeps going, doesn't he? And I think if they hadn't have got the header in, I think they might have brought that back for a free kick outside the box. But once you get the header in, I don't think you can bring it back from that position. Decent referee. He's been all right today, the referee, to be fair to him. A little bit of cramp setting, I think, here for Murray Campbell.
Travis Akamia doing the captain's role there. As the clock edges closer to the 90th minute mark. Be a very pleasing 3 points if Chelsea do come through this. They've got a few testing fixtures on the horizon with Fulham, West Ham United, Aston Villa and Brighton to play before the turn of the new year, and FA Cup draw in the new year as well. Chester or Bradford City in that. Peterborough away for the development side at the end of November as well in the EFL Trophy, so one or two of these players may be involved in that one. I imagine they're all desperate to play some form, especially the players that are in the development side that haven't had too much action the last couple of weeks. And I even saw that yesterday at Cobham, or a couple of days ago at Cobham, the New Zealand All Blacks rugby league team, rugby union team, excuse me, were at the training ground. So thankfully we've not seen too many scrums today. But
no, it actually hasn't been, you know, as a feisty games that we've seen in the past, even at this level. You know, sometimes they can be a little bit over aggressive, and understandably so, but it's not been like that today. There's been some good football from both sides at times. I stick by what I said earlier, and the game's progressed in that way that I just feel that we've been the more dangerous in front of goal. I think Spurs have been a bit weak in that sort of area, if you like, without sort of criticising them too much, and I think we defended well, and there's been some really big performances, and Murray Campbell has been certainly one of those for me at the back for Chelsea today. I mean, Teddy Kerr, you always say that about a goalkeeper, you know, if he's had a good game, you know, he's kept the score down, you know, and that's an easy one to talk about, but you know what, there's been some good performances around him as well.
yeah, you're absolutely right. Usually when you hear a lot from the goalkeeper, you'd say that the team's perhaps not been the more dominant side, but I think realistically we've heard more from Teddy Kerr because he's made some good saves, but defensively Chelsea have done very well today to limit Spurs to half chances. When they have had half chances, Kerr's made them look easy.
I think that's the answer. I think, Joe, for me is the simplicity of the way he works in goal. Yeah, I like it. He's good with his feet, which is so important in the modern game. His ability to pass, his ability to make saves, you know, it's all been a plus for him.
Could be one final chance here for Spurs as Mikey Moore goes one-on-one with Frankie Runham, driving into the box, and Akamia steps across really well.
Good defender.
Runham taking no chances and looking forward to McNeely.
Well, we'll take that free kick, slow it down. It's not such a bad thing, I guess, from Spurs' position here, though. Time running out quickly. You think they play long, but I don't think that's in their ethics. So, yeah, as I thought, they play short. Clock ticking down quickly for them, though.
Everyone got half an eye on the referee at the moment. Spurs not showing a huge amount of urgency. They do have the clock very much against them, as is the scoreline. Chelsea still 2-1 to the good. Here's McKnight. Giving wide to Ajayi. Ignores the overlap of Abbott. Elects instead to shift the ball in field.
Do you know what, it's taken them about 2 minutes to get over that halfway line. Actually gone nowhere. And when the clock's where it is, I just don't understand. That's the more important thing. That's a great ball.
Here is Mikey Moore. McKnight. Moore and McKnight between them. Early cross in. Goalkeeper again. So composed there to pluck the ball out. About four or five bodies around him.
Yeah, not the best ball in, but it could have caused us problems. You could have had a collision of players and the ball bounced freely for a Spurs player. But again, he could just take control. I like that. He just steps forward and demands the ball and does it with ease. No emotions on his face, which I like to see as well. As we say, this was easy.
Very much a modern, composed goalkeeper as Murray Campbell, equal to it. Again, we've said that quite a lot today, but he's dispossessed there by Ajayi.
That's a free kick. We're just to slow down a little bit. I don't know if it's the cramp that's giving him a problem. But maybe he had an opportunity to move the ball into the Spurs half, doesn't take it on. Little collision here, bump on the head. Everybody should be all right.
He's got a bit of bad look of it.
Maybe a little bit of blood there.
Yeah.
He's looking into.
Sam Raksaki's obviously only come on as a substitute 10-15 minutes ago, but
just depends on how much longer the referee's going to add to the clock, isn't it? You know, does he take it to the ultimate last second? And this was the goal earlier on. Lovely finish this, and Michael Golding really just settled himself down to finish this, and this was a classic, wasn't it? Full-back coming forward, smash, top corner, love it.
Lovely, lovely finish from Josh Achiampong there to give Chelsea 2-1 advantage. Last few seconds of this one, the Tottenham Hotspur training facility.
Could be the last few minutes the way it's going.
Could well be. Don't have the luxury of a big screen to tell us how many additional minutes are on at the moment. Very much down to the referee's discretion, and to be fair, I think even if we'd have been given 3 or 4 minutes, we could be looking at 7 or 8, depending on how long.
I just wonder if, when it comes down to it, they just allow Spurs to take the free kick, and in this situation, can't believe you'll add the complete minutes of seconds of time that this has taken. And it was something and nothing, wasn't it? It was like a collision of 2 or 3 bodies, and the referee sees a foul in there, and obviously with the collision, as he goes to ground, he gets caught and maybe has a little knock to the side of his head.
Boniface is receiving medical attention.
But it's right, if it's a head injury, it's right that they take that time. But we've got to concentrate here, because sometimes you can switch off in these situations.
He's going to be okay by the look of it, thankfully, and sooner rather than later Chelsea would like him to be allowed back on the pitch, but it's going to be a free kick to be taken by Donnelly, potentially the last chance for Tottenham. Floated in towards the far post, headed wide by Lancashire, but it was a foul anyway.
I just don't understand the free kick. You know, go back to these free kicks that we saw one earlier on. I think Tottenham's free kicks have been awful today, and again the execution of that one, it's just a simple clip into. It's a safety free kick, and there are times to do that. But with the clock almost ticking over the last seconds of the game, just fire it in with a bit of pace and try and create something.
On goal kick forward. Again, everyone half an eye on the referee. A pinball between the sides there as Donnelly and Dyer come together. Akamia forced to concede a throw-in.
Getting a bit desperate, isn't it? Anywhere will do at the moment for Chelsea.
More into Donnelly. Oh, he slips there, and it will be a goal kick.
It's a good tackle, wasn't it? He tackled himself there.
97.5 minutes we've played now.
That was a sign of tiredness, by the way, as well. You know, and you can understand it, and I think referee really needs to blow the whistle now. It's been decent enough by Chelsea as well to take the win.
Absolutely will be at 98 minutes once the ball's back in play properly.
Be dark in a minute.
Referee just encouraging Teddy Kerr to get on with things. And we play on. He goes out for another throw-in. This time Chelsea's favour. And that will be a lot. 98 minutes played. Chelsea, 3 points. 2 goals to 1 winners here at the Tottenham Hotspur training facility. A good performance all round. It's been 2 brilliant pieces of footballing excellence from Michael Golding and Josh Achiampong have given Chelsea the win this afternoon. Good performance all round, a good result. It's always nice to beat Tottenham, Clive.
Certainly is. It's what we wanted, isn't it, at the start of the game? You always say you take the win. But I think as well the nature of the win. I think we played well. The passing was good. The movement was good. There were periods, of course, where it was a bit scruffy and scrappy. That's to be expected. But listen, let's take nothing away from the 2 goals we scored. I think they were excellent. Michael Golding's finish and Achiampong's swinger from his left foot, top corner. Yeah, brilliant. Lovely to see. Great team to watch today.
Absolutely right, yeah, well contested London derby, a fractious event at times, but very much a composed, professional performance from Chelsea. Harrison Murray-Campbell, you can see in the centre of the picture there, very much involved. Frankie Runham as well, Travis Akamia, the winning captain. Plenty of good displays, good performances. Teddy Kerr in the Chelsea goal as well, and we'll see a lot of his involvement actually as we look at the highlights from this morning's and this afternoon's game. This one was an early one for Tudor Mendel-Ado. Good opportunity here, Clive, and on another day you'd fancy him to finish that if he went for a really good tackle.
Yeah, you've got to give defenders credit, to be honest, you know, because his pace just takes him away from players and you can't catch him up, but they did on this occasion. Good save here by Kerr, does well, stands up in the near post, where you'd expect him to be, but still has to make the save.
Here was Frankie Runham, a real thorn in the side of Tottenham in the first half, down this left with Boniface on the overlap. We saw that a number of occasions, and Lewis Flower very nearly heading Chelsea in front.
Yeah, that deserved more in some respects. Good flowing movement, sort of right to left, then the overlapping run, then the nice little slide rule pass, and this little clip into the box. Unfortunately, Flower can't get on the end of that and steer it on target, but lovely play. This was a super turn. This is when he shows how good he can be on the ball, his composure to pick out Michael Golding. Again, relaxes, sees the target, finishes well. You know, excellent goal.
Really, really good goal from Michael Golding. Yeah, it's like you mentioned, the build-up play there from Frankie Runham, just to turn and spin, and then the finish as well. He uses almost 3 or 4 Spurs bodies as like a distraction, just to curl it round and right into the top corner. Brilliant opener. Yeah,
nothing better than a winger making a fullback look silly, and Frankie Runham really did that there. But not only that, created a goal, which is superb.
You would be biased from that perspective, though, wouldn't you? Of course.
I've seen it a few times.
Again,
good defending here.
Murray-Campbell, yeah, did brilliantly here, didn't he?
Yeah, 2 blocks. You know, looked like we're stretched a little bit. Perfect opportunity. Perhaps doesn't make the best contact on the ball that he can, Lancashire, but you know what? We had to get bodies in behind the ball, and we did well.
Yeah, a good save from Gunter in the Spurs goal as well, because that was one that we've seen loop in previously and very nearly went in. I think it was off Flower in the end, but could have been off a Spurs defender deflected on as well.
Yeah, we talk about delivery as well. I mean, another good ball in by Frankie Runham. This was poor by us, giving the ball away much too cheaply. And here you see Spurs bombing forward, getting bodies in the box, trying to make things happen, which they did, and they get their just rewards. Simple tapping.
Yeah, good finish from Jamie Donnelly, but it was right on the brink of half-time. The first half largely in control from Chelsea's perspective, so disappointed to go in all level, but second half started, you'd have to say Spurs started very well in the second half, but thankfully, as it would eventually turn out, Chelsea would continue in the ascendancy. But we saw...
It didn't last long though, did it, from Spurs? That's the only thing I would say. We'd expect it, as we see here, but it actually didn't last long. Decent enough ball in there, good save at the near post. There's good pace on this ball, and they got a runner in there, and it turns into an excellent ball. But again, Teddy Kerr just sees it, smothers it. Good save, good distribution.
Here as well. Again, we saw down this left-hand side in the first half from Chelsea's perspective, and Spurs trying to work it in the second half. A chance here falling for Mikey Moore to get the shot off, but again, Harris and Murray Campbell in the way.
Yeah, and we've seen that time and time again in the game, haven't we? Defenders getting their bodies on the line and getting some blocks in. Just thought perhaps he could have struck it a little bit quicker. Just there was a little bit of stutter just before he took the actual shot, which gave us a chance to make the block. This was a good chance as well. Great first touch. On target. Another day fly in the top corner, but difficult one to take, but a snapshot that maybe could have caused us problems. But as we said during the game, Kerr sometimes makes things look so simple, doesn't he? Good hands.
Good save, and then Chelsea started to build, and you can see here from McMahon's delivery, very nearly Tudor Mendel-Adoh, who nodded Chelsea in front.
Yeah, on another day that creeps in, doesn't it? You know, he doesn't get enough on it, or he gets more on it, and it's into one of the bottom corners. But decent delivery. McMahon does well, and his work rate today has been excellent. And again, this is the goal from any fullback that goes forward. Will say, I've done that in my career before, and Gianfranco certainly does it well. Absolute sweetest strike you like. He doesn't try to overhit it. Good space for him to do it. The complaints from the Spurs coaches will be, why didn't we close it down? If you're given that space, take the shot on and get your reward, and that's what he's done.
Absolutely right, and you've got to say, if you're gonna win a game against Tottenham, to win it in the right way and win it with a goal like that is very fitting, because it was a fantastic finish, and Chelsea very nearly had a little bit of a comfort blanket with Tudor Mendel-Adoh's header here.
Mendel-Adoh, just for me, the ball hits him rather than he heads the ball. And I think if he had it done, I think it would have been a great goal.
Really would have been. It's been an impressive performance from Chelsea, and thankfully nothing else doing. So Chelsea win 2-1. Michael Golding and Josh Achiampong. Chelsea beat Spurs. What a good start to the weekend.